Hello everyone. Still morning. Almost not, but we're having a nice Monday and we're going to have a program and we're happy. I'm going to start by singing. I'm happy today, oh yes, I'm happy today. In Jesus Christ I'm happy today, because He's taken all my sins away, and that's why I'm happy today. I'm singing today, oh yes, I'm singing today. In Jesus Christ I'm singing today, because He's taken all my sins away, and that's why I'm singing today. I'm praying today, oh yes, I'm praying today. In Jesus Christ I'm praying today, because He's taken all my sins away, and that's why I'm praying today. I'm sharing my faith, oh yes, I'm sharing my faith. In Jesus Christ I'm sharing my faith, because He's taken all my sins away, and that's why I'm sharing my faith. I'm happy today, oh yes, I'm singing today. In Jesus Christ I'm praying today, because He's taken all my sins away, and that's why I'm sharing my faith. Yes.
Thank you.
I'll pass that over to you, my dear.
Okay. This is everything is important, but we have to ask some major questions. Do we have people who want Canada to survive as a country? Do we have politicians who want Canada to survive as a sovereign nation? We know emphatically, verbally, over and over again, that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau does not think Canada should exist as a nation. Canada should not exist. It should be liquidated in one world government controlled by people like George Soros,
Bill Gates,
and
all the other big techies.
And so that is one of the major questions we have to ask. Another question we have to ask: do we believe any illness, discomfort, social, medical disease exists and should be treated or should be addressed other than COVID-19? And that's a very important question. We've discovered that they're not interested in helping people be sober, develop AA programs, continue their AA programs, which is causing a great deal of suffering. Okay, so the number 2 question, is there medical issues other than COVID-19 that should be addressed? There most certainly is. 3 times more people die of diabetes than COVID. As I've said many times, the possibility of dying from alcoholic violence in the north is far greater than the possibility of dying from COVID. And I say that we do have an ongoing problem that people are getting sick, and this very sick from the from the vaccine shots that were imposed on communities?
You know, I heard that when they make the vaccine, uh, they get the body to produce part of the virus, so that, and then it reacts to that. But these little parts of the virus, these little spikes that are all around the virus, they travel to all parts of the body. They get into the heart. They get into the brain. Not many things pass into the blood-brain barrier, but these little particles can. And some people react badly to them, and there's reactions of little clotting going on, and it could cause many strokes. It could cause many heart attacks. It could cause things like that. Maybe it doesn't affect everybody that way, but certainly we know of people who have thought they had a heart attack after they had a vaccination. So I just adding that because it's something I recently heard. I haven't even told Gay yet about this.
Well, thank you. That's just tip of the iceberg of the problems we're having. And if you, encourage you to read it, or I should say, see Daniel O'Connor and Mark Mallet as their talk of why we shouldn't trust the people in power. And that needs to be reviewed. It's an hour long. It's very informative, and you don't get it all in one shot. At least I don't. So, do we still have politicians that believe that Canada should be a sovereign nation, a democratic monarchical nation, as it has from 1534 or whatever? We've always had a monarchy. The first one was Francis I, when Jacques Cartier went up the St. Lawrence. Is that going to continue? And we need to fight for that. We need to hear about it. We need to see that our ways of life are protected, our democratic processes are protected. I don't see any going on.
Yeah. This is a question. If we do have an election, we should be asking questions of every candidate. Do they want Canada to exist?
Thank you. We all, as I've said, Justin Trudeau, when he was elected for the first time, made it very, very clear. He does not believe that Canada as Canada should exist, that we should dissolve ourselves as part of the one world government and be controlled by the atheistic, powerful money grabbers such as Bill Gates, George Soros, and others.
Not to mention the Chinese Communist Party, to which he bows.
Okay. Number 3, we should, and this is very important, and do we have a right to not be vaccinated? Do we have a right to reject vaccine? And whether or not I suppose it have a right, I will have nothing to do with vaccines for very sound reasons. I like living. I fought to live for the last 5 or 6 months under difficult circumstances, and I'm going to continue that fight. And it's not going to be given to somebody else, whether or not I live or die. I've been in that situation. I want to live. I want you to live. And maybe that's enough for starters.
We have more questions, but we can't unfold them well in this short of time.
Okay, let's review. Do you believe that Canada should exist as a sovereign nation? First of all, answer that yourself and then ask others, including the politicians, if you could find any who would poke their door, poke their nose at your door or anywhere else. Okay. As I said, Prime Minister Trudeau does not want Canada to exist as a nation, as is doing everything possible to stop it.
Second question?
Second question, do we have a right, but will our right to refuse vaccine be protected by law? And what I say by law, I mean the kind of thing that's passed, debated, passed, read 3 times, in the due process of a parliamentary law, not
an order in council by the Prime Minister,
or,
so-called.
Yes, what I was going to say, or the official public health officer who doesn't say about anything except about rules that never are explained or never are told what they mean. Meaning as such as, what does outbreak mean? Somebody who's been in contact with somebody who has somebody? Or does it mean that there's 5 or 6 people in your area dying? There's a big difference, by the way. And number 3, do you think that other issues, medical issues, should be addressed other than COVID-19? And I have to add that I can only see that COVID-19 is an excuse. When the mail is slow, when the mail is inefficient, because they say, well, a year ago there was an outbreak in Mississauga. First of all, what's an outbreak? Secondly, do we have proof that these viruses survive or live on innate objects such as mail? Is there any proof that this can be transmitted from one item to another, from one surface to another? I've seen people who are COVID-19 fanatics. They were scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing a bag that came from Wendy's. I can't think of. Sorry for that. And it didn't make any sense. But this nurse really believed that on this surface that went from one food place to another, that the surface is going to contaminate the hospital. And we see this fanaticism, this lack of logic. In law, you have to define your terms. You have to prove things. In the health issues, you prove things. And there's absolutely no proof or 90% of the things that, what is his name? The health officer's name.
Dr. Shabab?
Dr. Shabab comes across. He just says them. And there's also a situation that we had fun watching a polka party online from St. John Cantius basement last night. It was great fun. But in Chicago is a Democratic stronghold. And so there's huge amount of politics and a huge amount of situations to control the situation. They make people wear masks while they're playing the trumpet practically. And they make people wear masks at church. And they make people wear masks, so on and so on and so on. And that's because it's a democratic stronghold. As we go to places like Arkansas, I don't go, but my children, my sister, in her line of duty, has recently spent her time in Florida, and the children were running in the beach, no masks, nothing but good fresh air. And what's the difference? Because Florida thinks differently than Chicago politically. So what have we got? We don't have a COVID-19 outbreak in Florida or in Chicago. We have a difference in politics. And the COVID-19 situation is being used as a political hammer. And most certainly it's being used as a political hammer in Canada. If the mail doesn't come through, it's because of COVID-19 a year ago, and on and on. And if politicians don't speak out and do things, it's because of COVID-19. Let's just get rid of that and demand that we have scientific proof over medical realities. If people are telling me that bags of mail can cause the spread of COVID, then prove it. And that people like John Carpay and others of the Justice Center are doing that. They're saying, prove it that these restrictions are necessary. And there's no proof. They're manufactured, they're a political situation to keep people in line. We want freedom. We love Canada. I want Canada to continue. It is a country that has been full of courage and history and martyrdom. It has existed before Plymouth Rock pilgrims. And I want it to continue to exist. Please make your voice strong. And let's pray and work towards our country, Canada, to exist as it is, a democratic, monarchical country with sovereignty.
Thank
God
you,
bless.
Yes. Yeah. We'll say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. All right, we will be back.
Very good. Thank you, John.